Hey there, Park Ridge kids, welcome to STEWY'S music lesson of the week. Yeah. Hi Foundation kids, and welcome to your YouTube link lesson for your weeks 5 and 6 lessons. Can't believe it's already into week 5 and 6 of term 2. I hope you're all doing well out there. Now these lessons are going to continue on to help us understand our high and low pitch. So let's go over to my keyboard. Okay, so here we are at my piano keyboard. There's our low end, left, all the way up onto the right to our high notes. Now you might notice I've started writing in a few of the letters because each note or key on a piano has a letter name, and that's how we remember in music which notes we're going to play, whether we're playing high or whether we're playing low. Here's a high, up high, here's a kind of low one, down low, and here's one in the middle. A's in the middle. For the way I'm going to sing this song anyway. Now I could go up to the next even higher D. Up high and all the way down to this one. Down low, up high, down low. Now I'm in the middle and I'm going. Let's go up. Now for the game, I'm actually going to take my camera away from the keyboard so you can just use your ears to play. But once you've had a go yourself, if you can find your own keyboard at home, or if you've got a xylophone or a toy glockenspiel or something, maybe you could use those links that I've put there for a virtual keyboard or a virtual xylophone, and you could maybe have a game with some of your brothers or sisters or members of your family and try to teach them about high and low pitch too. All right, so let's have a game of up high, down low. Up high, down low, up high, down low. Now I'm in the middle and I'm going. That was low. Hopefully you got down as low as you could to show that your ears can hear the low pitch. Couple more rounds. Up high, down low, up high, down low. Now I'm in the middle and I'm going. That was high. So hopefully you stretched up as high as you can. Maybe 2 more. Up high, down low, up high, down low. Now I'm in the middle and I'm going. I think that was pretty easy. That was in the middle, so hopefully you just bob down a little bit for that one. 1 more. Up high, down low, up high, down low. Now I'm in the middle and I'm going. That last one there was high as well. See if you can get an instrument with high and low sounds and have a game with some of the people in your family. That's the end of part 1. Let's go to part 2. Alright, so for part 2, hopefully you watched that YouTube clip that was going to help you learn the names of the notes, or the letter names of the notes on a keyboard. Now, if you print this worksheet off, which is in your packs, you'll notice that I've written in the notes for you, and that's exactly how you'd find the notes on a real piano keyboard. If you remember, I had my D's on my real keyboard in part 1, in between those 2 black ones there. There's that A that I was playing before too. This next note up here, that would keep going, that would become a D. And then keep on going again, E, F, G. But this is only a part of my keyboard. Now before I explain things, this top part here, well, we'll learn more about that in part 3. But all you need to know for this is that, and you might have seen this before, these 5 lines and 4 spaces and this squiggly thing here called a treble clef. And all of these notes, which they've got as semi-breves here, this is how we write notes in music. And it's a good way of remembering them. So let's look at the sheet and the activity. It says here to colour in all the A notes brown, the B notes blue, the C notes orange, the D notes purple, the E notes are going to be grey, the F notes red, and the G notes green on both this musical staff here, or stave, as technically it's plural, and on the keyboard. So we're going to try and match it. I'll do the first few for you. Maybe I'll start with the A's, seeing as it says that. Alright, so colour the A notes brown. On the staff, I'm going to colour this A in here. But what I also want you to try to do, because it's coloured in, it's not a semi-breve anymore, or a ta-ah-ah, let's add a stem and turn it into a crotchet, or a ta. Any more A's there? Oh, yep, look, there's an A up here. Colour that in, and I'm going to do a down stem on this one, turn it into a crotchet. Now let's find all the A's on my piano keyboard. Here goes. Colour that in there. It's not my best colouring in. Hopefully your colouring in will be better than mine. And here's another A here. So it's going to be round 2. I'm trying to remember where I will find the notes on a piano keyboard. It's going to help me understand high and low. It's going to help me understand or be better at reading music. Now the next one says all the B notes blue. So I'll do that and then we'll finish up. Let's start. Blue pencil. Look for the blue notes on the staff. There's one on the middle line there. Add in a stem. Are there any other B's on this? Not on the staff. There are 2 blues on the keyboard there. If I was up here, that would be a B note if I kept going there. And down below this C, there'd be a B note here too. But I'm only doing a part of the keyboard. So, B note's blue. I'm hoping you get the idea there. It's not my best colouring in because I was holding the camera with one hand and colouring in with the other, so I couldn't hold my page still. I'm hoping you do a good job of that, your best work, and it will help you understand high and low pitch, how to find notes on a keyboard, and in part 3 we'll have a closer look at this. Okay, so for part 3, hopefully you've watched the YouTube link that I sent you on the treble clef, which is this little squiggly line here, and also the staff or stave. Same thing, one's plural, one's singular, doesn't really matter, they're both interchangeable these days. But we're talking about the 5 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, that we write notes on. Just important to remember when you're trying to write the notes, just remember notes on the lines, you need to make sure it's right split in the middle, and when you're writing a note in a space, that it sits right between 2 other lines. The notes down the bottom are a bit lower in pitch, and like a ladder going up, they become higher and higher each time. And each of these, as we've already had a look at in previous parts of our lesson, match a note on a piano keyboard, and they also match notes on guitars, trumpets, trombones, bass guitars, you name it, any instrument that has high and low pitch, you can name a note of it on this. Let's have a look at the worksheet. Now this worksheet 2 here, you're probably going to need mum or dad to help you, or an older brother or sister, to read these little tasks that you've got to do. But basically, it tells you that the notes are written on lines and in spaces, like I just discussed before. There's the numbers of them. The things you need to do is, what number is the bottom line? Well, it's pretty easy. There's your answer there. I'm pointing to that number there. What number is the top line? It's there for you too. You also need to number the ones in the spaces. And here, get your coloured pencils out. Draw a red note in the fourth space. So you get your red pencil out. Look for the fourth space. 1, 2, 3, 4. In this section here, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. And draw a red note. Maybe do crotchets for now. You could do semi-breves or minutes, but crotchets I find are the best. Tells you the colour and it tells you the number of the line or the space to draw it in. Try to keep your work as neat as you can. Here you just need to trace some notes. Get, as I said, mum or dad or someone to read these bits out for you, and I'm sure you'll do a terrific job. Now the last worksheet, and please don't forget to keep on looking at those links that I've put on with the songs, and you can always write your rhythms out on those other pages. But the last worksheet for this lesson pack revises a little bit of the notes that we've learnt before when we're talking rhythms. So we know it's a tar, but it's also, its proper name is a crotchet, and it can be also known as a quarter note, because 4 of these would fill up a bar of 4. We know these as tar-ars, worth 2 beats here, whereas a crotchet's worth 1. Their proper name is minim. They sometimes get called half notes because they fill up half of a bar. We know this one as a tar. That goes for 4 beats. Its proper name is a semi-breve, and it's known also as a whole note because it fits up a whole bar of 4. Now I'm only going to get these 3 done today on the worksheet because I don't want to overload your brain with notes and things. But remembering all our note names and values and starting to practice writing them on the 5 lines and 4 spaces is going to help us get really good with our music. Let's have one last look at the other worksheet. So again, like in the other worksheet, you're probably going to need mum or dad or an older brother or sister or granddad, grandma, whoever to help you read these bits out, and then you should be able to do them pretty easily. It talks about all that stuff that I mentioned then, whole notes, and it talks about minims, crotchets, but basically you've got to trace them out and just have a read to help you with the information. You've got to add some stems going up on these and stems going down on these ones here. And here we want you to draw a crotchet, draw a minim, draw a semi-breve, and the last thing is count all of these up once you've finished your sheet, and right here how many minims are on this sheet. So that's it for this fortnight's lessons. Hopefully you're getting better at understanding high and low pitch and knowing how to find the letter names on a piano keyboard, and even starting to remember where to put them on the 5 lines and 4 spaces on the musical staff. Keep on practicing all the other rhythm links and listening to the Days of the Week song and the Months of the Year song and singing and dancing to any of your other favourite music. That's it for me, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye.